Now, let us discuss the spirit of enlightenment in the French society. The 18th century witnessed a philosophical movement which emphasized on the use of reason to scrutinize previously accepted doctrines and traditions, and this brought about many humanitarian reforms. This movement spread or kindled the spirit of enlightenment. The philosophers of enlightenment attacked the established orders through, together with an authority of any kind. Their ideas helped to produce an air of spirit of revolution. The propaganda of the philosophers, perhaps more than any other factor, accounted for the fulfillment of the preliminary conditions of the French Revolution, which was discontent with the existing state of affairs. The philosophers advocated the use of reason in all the human affairs. The work of Montesquieu, Voltaire, and Rousseau had been more read in France than anywhere else. In their writings, it became common to question the inequality of the French society and craving for human emancipation, which is clearly evident. Most French philosophers, political writers of the 18th century contrasted the political systems of their own country with that of England. In England, Parliament had become more powerful, vis as vis its king. There was a limited participation of the people in the governance and some respect for individual liberty. In France, the king was the absolute ruler with no effective participation of the people in governance. There was no safeguards for individual liberty, and there was arbitrariness in all spheres of life and governance. Now, who are the famous philosophers who made the French people to think and motivated? The first in the row is Montesquieu. The Montesquieu was a French political thinker whose work, that is book, Spirit of Laws, contribute a major contribution to modern political philosophy. In his book, he explains about the historical evolution of the political ideas and practices. He held that political institutions and laws must be adopted political must be adapted to be peculiarities of a specific group or nations. He also abandoned that the classical divisions of the government into monarchy, aristocracy, and democracy. He did not like them. He underlined that a republic was based on the virtue of a monarchy, on honor, and despotism of fear. He put forward the theory of separation of powers, that is, political authority should be divided into legislative, executive, and judiciary and clearly separated. For a state to promote liberty effectively, these three spheres of powers must be confided to different individuals or bodies, acting independently. His model of such a state was England, and at that time he maintained a firm belief in human dignity. He also held that utility or harmfulness of any faith or religion should be discussed in complete independence of the truth of its doctrines. He also highlighted always his firm belief in human dignity. Next in the row is Voltaire. He was a French writer and a satirist who emerged as an embodiment of the 18th century Enlightenment. Through his revolutionary writings, he definitely influenced the course of the French Revolution. He was a crusader against tyranny, bigotry, compared to Rousseau, rebellious and idealism in nature. Voltaire was skeptical about the solutions of the great philosophical problems, opposing the dogmatic theology of institutional relations or religions. He made sharp attacks on the organized Christianity, whether Catholic or the Protestant. He criticized all the miracles as mere illusions and all revelations as human inventions. As a humanist, He always advocated religious and social tolerance. As an essayist, he defended freedom of thought and religious tolerance. In his doctrine of philosophy, this is called philosophic, he defined the ideal religion. The ideal religion is that which teach you very little dogma but much morality. Common sense is not so common. Voltaire wrote in Dictionary Philosophique, from metaphysics he turned to social satire to focus attention on the corrupt French government. Next, moving on to the Rousseau's contributions. Rousseau is also a French philosopher, a writer, a political theorist whose treatises and novels inspired the leaders of the French Revolution. He propelled political and the ethical thinking into new channels. He made liberty an object of universal aspiration. He reacted against the artificiality and corruption of the social customs and institutions of the time. His social contract became the textbook of the French Revolution, in which he states that a man is born and free into society, and which imposes restraints on him. He regarded the state as having come into existence as a result of the contract, in which individuals surrendered none of their natural rights, but rather agree for the protection of them. According to him, liberty and equality can be established by a new social pact of all with all, willingly accepted, obeying the volunto general, which is called general will. This general will alone has total sovereignty. In this way, passive subjects of the states are turned into active citizens yearning to work for the public good. This general will is a moral will that aims at common good. In other words, it reconciles the individuals and the community by representing the will of the community as deriving from the will of the moral individual. Therefore, if one obeys the laws of such a community, it is same of the following one's own will, assuming that one is a moral individual. These are the contributions of the three writers.